So over the past 18 months, I've gone from making $0 with AI to now having made over 2 million across my various AI businesses. And this, of course, is not my take-home profit. It's not what I have in my pocket right now, but it's the top line revenue figure. And I think that to some degree speaks for itself. I don't have a degree. I don't have any special AI training. And I don't have some rich dad who's been doing it all for me. So what you're going to get out of this video is just two skills, relatively simple. And at the end of the video, I'll be giving you 3 opportunities that you can move on given the set of skills that I'm going to talk about. So of course, if you're new to the channel and don't know who I am, my name is Ottley. I've been running and building AI businesses for the past 18 months, and I've been doing online entrepreneurship for the past 5 to 6 years. So right now, I'm fortunate enough to be running 3 different businesses in the AI space. Firstly, my AI agency, Morningside AI. Secondly, my education business, the AAA Accelerator. And finally, I have an AI SaaS called Agentive. So that's who I am and what I do. So the point of this video is to give you a foolproof AI skill set that allows you to be resilient to the changes that are going to happen across the world as this technology is rolled out. So in order to give you that skill set, we need to first analyze what's happening right now and what's going to happen in the next 10 years. So there is a bit of a harsh reality that's about to hit a lot of people. And that's, if you look at any report talking about AI and the impact it's going to have on the labor market, etc., there's an expected 20 to 25% of jobs that are going to be wiped out by AI and automation as a whole. So this wave of redundancies and layoffs is going to be hitting the low to middle income workers the hardest. And over the next 10 years, we're going to see we're already seeing it, but we're going to be seeing an eroding of the middle class and a separation of society into the haves and have-nots, at least in places like the United States. However, while this massive change is going to be bad for the majority of people, there are going to be a small class of winners that come out of it. And that's really what the focus of this video is, giving you the skill set that you need to be in that class of winners at the end of the decade. So with all that in mind, we need to be thinking carefully about how we can create a skill set that will allow us to thrive in the world that we're moving towards. And that's really going to be what's known as AI first. And right now, businesses are kind of playing around with AI. They're tacking it onto the sides of their products, and they're not really thinking of AI as a core part of their strategy right now, but that is where we're going to be moving in the near future. This shift from AI is nice to AI is the most important thing in our business strategy right now is the similar shift in strategy that happened with the World Wide Web when we had this mobile first shift where they shifted from everyone's using the web on their desktop or their computer, and now there's more value for companies in optimizing for a mobile first strategy rather than worrying too much about the desktop side of things. So the same shift is happening for businesses over the next few years where they're going to have to shift away from AI as a nice add-on to AI is the first and most important thing in our strategy. And if you want a bit of evidence on this impending AI shift in business and how it's going to completely change the business landscape, Sam Altman and his buddies have been making bets on when the first one-person, $1 billion company is created, which sounds ridiculous until you realize that artificial intelligence is the field of study focused on creating machines or systems that replace human intelligence and tasks. So once you create an artificially intelligent system that can do a human's task, the magic of it is that it can be scaled infinitely. So we saw this with ChatGPT. Once OpenAI was able to create a LLM that had all of the world's knowledge compressed into it and we could easily talk to it, once they had that as a product, they scaled it to 100 million users in 2 months, the fastest ever done. So what Sam Altman is really getting at is in the near future, with the rise of LLMs and AI as we know it, we can be building these businesses with an AI first approach and have this kind of limitless scalability of, okay, I created an AI sales team or an AI sales rep. Instead of having to hire a whole bunch of people, I can now have one AI sales rep that I've created, and that can scale with any people that come in contact with my business. And it's a far lower cost. It can improve the customer experience, and it's far more scalable so that I can be running this massive business as just one person without having to have all these teams. So this skill set and strategy of how to get rich with AI without getting wrecked by the chaos of the next 10 years, it revolves around this realization of this impending shift to an AI first focus for businesses. And so soon enough, companies are going to start clicking onto this, and those with the skills to allow them to make that transition to an AI first business that is really the only model of business that they're going to be able to win with long term. And if they lag behind, they're going to get destroyed. The people who have those kind of skills are the ones who are going to be in massive demand over the next 10, 20, 30 years. While there is still a bit of skepticism and uncertainty about the technology, to get in and get ahead and learn these skills so that when everyone does wake up, we're there and ready to catch all the money as it starts falling out of the sky. Which brings us to skill number 1 in your foolproof AI skill set, which is learning how to build AI systems and solutions. And no, you don't need a background as a developer. You just need to know how to use the certain set of low-code and no-code tools combined with a skill set in prompt engineering that will allow you to make 80-90% of the key systems and types of solutions that the companies you'll be working with want. How to actually learn these skills is out of the scope of this video, but I have done a video recently showing you the easiest endpoints to starting building AI solutions. So I'll put that up there and you can watch it after. Now, skill number 2 in your foolproof AI skill set comes from some OG Naval Ravikant. And if you haven't heard of him or studied any of his works, I highly recommend you check him out. He's had a massive influence on my career and my success as well, and how I've navigated the space as an entrepreneur. And one of the things that Naval talks about constantly is leverage, and leverage being the ability to Multiply the impact of your actions without a corresponding increase in time and resources spent. Naval breaks leverage down into 3 different categories. Firstly, we have labor. So if I tell in my instructions on what to do to a team of 1 person, they will go and do that and have a certain effect. But if I tell that same instructions, I have the same effort on my end to a team of 100 people and they go and do that, I've just multiplied the impact of my effort, right? Same thing with the second one, which is capital. So if I'm making a trade or I'm investing in a certain position, I do all the analysis and I do all the work, and then I press a button to buy into that trade. If I go into the trade with $100 and it doubles to 200, I've got that much money out of it. But if I put in $1 billion, as guys like Warren Buffett figure out, they get leverage from that capital by putting in a bigger position, and they can get $1 billion out of that same equation. While if I just put in 100, I only get 100 out. Finally, the third form of leverage is product with no marginal cost of replication, which he breaks into 2 categories of code and content. Code being that if I write a software program that does a certain thing and achieves an outcome, it costs me nothing to copy and paste or like duplicate the file that has that code in it, right? So I can distribute code infinitely once I've done all the work initially to get that first program written. Similarly, content, when I create a piece of content like this, it takes the same amount of effort and preparation to make this video, regardless of how many people see it. So if this gets 1 million views, I have put in the same amount of work as if it got 1 view. Same with someone like Joe Rogan. He puts the same amount of work into a podcast if it gets 1 view or 1 million views. And what we're interested out of all of those for skill number 2 is content. As mentioned, when companies realize the necessity of having this AI first approach, they're going to scramble to try and find people and experts that can help them to make this transition. And that is going to be you, but they're not going to find you unless you put yourself out there through content to make yourself discoverable. Therefore, skill number 2 in your foolproof skill set for the next 10 years is content creation. Content is by far the best way to put yourself on the map. I'm living proof of that. You can use YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, emails, anything. You can write articles, you can write blogs, but you just need to be building cool AI things and systems for businesses and putting yourself out there and sharing that through your content platforms. And I think the most interesting part about this whole strategy, and really the nail in the coffin of what makes this so powerful and why you need to be moving on a strategy similar to this, is that if we're talking about leverage, by building AI systems and solutions, you are using code, which is a form of leverage in itself, to create labor leverage in the form of I've created an AI system that can essentially replace a human. Instead of having to scale up a team of humans, I can now use an AI system which is code-based to create labor, which is another form of leverage. And then you're using content creation, which is another form of leverage, to market the entire thing. So this opportunity is likely one of the highest leverage opportunities in the world right now because you're using 3 different forms. And so with those 2 skills clearly defined, I can jump into the last bit of the video as promised, which is 3 opportunities that you can use this skill set to succeed with in the near future. Firstly, you can help businesses to adopt this AI first approach by designing and building AI systems and solutions for them. And this is called an AI automation agency. This is a model that I kind of created and named and have been screaming from the rooftop for the past year about. And that's what I got started, and that's what Morningside AI is for me. If you're interested in this one, I have a ton of information on the channel, and that's really where I recommend most people start. Secondly, you can start your own business in any field imaginable, but come into it and start it with an AI first approach. So how can I build the AI first version of a typical business in the industry, and how can I make something that's going to be ultimately more scalable and profitable and an AI first version of these typical businesses? And I think there is huge opportunity here to go into industries and just completely wipe out all the old ways of doing things and taking it with an AI first approach. Thirdly, pretty similar to that, is you can go to someone and partner with them and offer to say, hey, look, I will work with you to make this business AI first. We can rebuild it from the ground up or implement different systems. I want to take you into the AI first version of the business you're currently running. And then you can take some kind of cut on the profits or the revenues, or you can get equity, etc. And finally, of course, you need to use your content creation skills to document all of this and market the hell out of the business that way. So that's all for me. I gave you the 2 skills and I gave you the 3 opportunities as promised. I really just want to see as many of you as possible come out of the other side of this next 10 years as a winner and not be completely destroyed as part of the middle class through this transitionary period we're going through. So take what I've mentioned here. I'm applying it right now. I'm living proof that it works. Go and learn these skills, learn how to build AI systems and build them for businesses. I've covered it on the channel enough. Also look into content creation because it's been the biggest driving factor in my success. So please do something about it right now. I don't care what you do, but I've given you as much game as I possibly could in this video. So I'll see you in the next one.